What's up, everybody? It's Nesquik, aka KidKupo with Kupokast. Just want to let you know about Anchor real quick. It's free. The creation tools are so helpful and allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. They also distribute your podcast to Apple, Spotify, and so many other places. You can make money with your podcast and you don't need any minimum listeners or fans. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. Check it out. How's it going, Chocobros and Moogals? Tonight we have a very, very special guest. So let's hit the intro and I'll introduce him. Hello and welcome back to Kupokast. It is your host, KidKupo, and we're with Nightfall, and we have a very, very special guest. I'm very excited to announce. You may know him as the Prince of the Shokan, or you may know him as the leader of the Turks. Please welcome Vic Chao.
Hey guys, how you doing?
I hope I said that right.
You did. So well done. But trust me, I've heard all sorts of variations on it, so you wouldn't be the first one to mispronounce my name but you got it right, so it's all good.
Good. Thank you. Finally, we've talked for about 2 months, and you're such a pleasure to talk to.
Well, thank you.
You're just very, very, very fun to talk to. It's a long time in the making. Finally, we got you on the podcast, and it's going to be a fun episode. I'm very excited. This is actually my co-host's first interview with me. Usually I do these by myself, but he's fantastic, and we have a lot of synergies. So I figured I'd have him come on and help me.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to this whole thing.
Oh yeah.
So how did you? Were you a big gamer, or are you a big gamer? Like, how did you get into like the whole voice acting and stuff like that?
I mean, I will say I absolutely love video games. I'm old as dirt, so the first video game that we ever got was Pong, and it freaking blew me away, and I was just like, holy cow, this is incredible. That's what counted as a video game back in the 70s. And then, had the Atari 2600. Again, I'm old as dirt, so but the Atari 2600 was just the most incredible game, especially Adventure, which was
yes.
Yeah, that was like the first like real sort of adventure, like almost kind of a version of a role-playing game back then and stuff. And of course, it's a central theme of Ready Player One, which I got to do Goro's voice in. And then yeah, basically then Super Mario Brothers on the Nintendo just blew me away. And then as an adult, I gotta say, as much as I love video games, I realized that my obsessive personality was a real problem when playing video games. So I absolutely love video games and computer games, but at a certain point I had to stop, because it's just like when I'm playing them, I can't do anything else. So I stopped playing them around the time of I think the last games that I played in the just like the total obsessive nature realm were Psychonauts, which I loved, the Portal games, Ninja Gaiden and Jade Warrior and stuff, and then I had to just be like, I can't get anything done when I'm playing computer games, so I had to take a break. But believe me, the moment my kids graduate from college, I'm gonna start it back up again.
But now you're living the dream. You get to actually voice and create these characters and give them life.
It is pretty amazing. It is absolutely amazing to get to be a part of things that I I played when I was younger, or just even if I hadn't played them, just that I've heard of, and I remember seeing a Final Fantasy commercial early on, and just being like, oh my gosh, you can see the individual strands of hair on these characters and stuff. So it is pretty amazing to be part of this incredible world. I'll have to say I'm very blessed.
Yeah, I was the kid in school in elementary that I had to I couldn't bring my games to school because I had Game Boy, but I would bring my game manuals to school with me just so I can read them and just try to just get as much into the game as I could. I remember I used to bring my Final Fantasy VII manual into school and my strategy guides, and I would get yelled at because I'd be reading when I'm supposed to be doing my work.
So
and yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just. No, I was just wondering. Back then, did they have did they still have numbers you could call? You could pay money to try and get hints for the game when you got stuck.
Yeah.
The Nintendo Power Line.
Didn't they have a group of Nintendo people that they worked, and you can call them for hints on Zelda and like Super Mario and stuff like that. Right,
and you'd have to pay for it, but yeah, you get little hints and stuff like that. Oh man. Good times back in the day. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah, just all this stuff brought up some nostalgia for me.
Oh, that's great nostalgia. I was wondering, do you have a preference between acting in real life or voice acting, or does it just depend on the role?
That's a really great question, because I genuinely do love both of them, and they're they are both acting, but they both have their pluses and minuses. Or I will say during a pandemic, boy, do I prefer voice acting over live acting. And in fact, during this pandemic, I've basically become a voice actor. It's a little frustrating for me because there have been a lot of great roles that I have passed auditions for because right now I'm just not taking a chance. So it pains me to turn down live action acting stuff. But right now during a pandemic, the voice acting stuff is all that I'm doing, largely because I can do it from home. I've got a wonderful setup with a fantastic voiceover booth, as well as my equipment. So I'm very blessed to have a setup that I can, basically a professional studio setup that allows me to work from home.
Very cool.
Yeah. So until the vaccines hit, I'm very blessed to be able to voice act. Now, if a genie came to me and said, you can only do one or the other, which one would you choose? I will say I would choose voice acting.
Okay.
It's fun.
It really is.
It's fun. And something, when you screw things up, it's fine. You just take another take. You get another shot at it. It's fine. I mean, if you blow a take doing a live sequence, you just kind of feel a little bit ooky about the whole thing because everybody's got to reset, goes back, everybody's got to double check, and you're just like, yeah, I'm the one who blew the line, or I blew the entrance, I didn't hit my mark and stuff like that. So it's nice to be in a medium where stakes are a lot easier to deal with than on camera work.
I totally get that. Yeah, anytime I've made a mistake on the podcast, I just kind of edit it out.
I talked to a couple of voice actors besides yourself. I talked to Daniel McRae was on the podcast, and she was very nice to talk to. Also, it just seems you voice actors just seem like they're more down to earth and not very they don't get egotistical. They're very down to earth, and they don't grow a head, a second head, and become very I guess egotistical. I'll use that for the third time. And you just seem just very very friendly and just nice to talk to. You're a joy to deal with. You were just very polite and just very very polite and just very fun and just nice to talk to. Like I said.
By nice Sky act is all an act until I become a huge star, and then I'm gonna be insufferable. Trust me. So when that happens, then I'll be throwing the tantrums and everything like that.
I want a free autograph.
You know, I want a bowl of M&Ms, all with all the green ones removed and stuff like that. That's what I'll be entitled.
Otherwise, Ozzy wouldn't go on stage.
Yeah, what you were talking about before when you were saying you were old as dirt, which I don't agree. I mean, you look great for your age, if that's the case. But I learned to I'm into like a lot of like to respect like the older generations and like the older games and stuff like that. I'm very nostalgic in that sense. Like I love like the Sega Genesis era and like the Nintendo era and the Super Nintendo era. Like I'm not to get off topic, but like I'm big in like old school type of stuff. Like I love the Beatles, like old school music like that and stuff like that.
Nice.
And just like older stuff, because I grew up, my aunt raised me, and she's older. She's in her 70s, so kind of appreciation for like older stuff, and that's how I got in like the systems when I was at a young age. Mortal Kombat was the first game that made me cry because Scorpion, the first match I ever had, I got beat by the computer and Scorpion decided to do his fatality, and I was like 3 years old. So that scared the living daylights out of me.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Oh, petrified me. I was shook.
Man, you suffered a fatality at 3 years old? That must have been traumatic.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause I was born 88. When did the first one come out? 91, I think. 91 or 92. So I was either 3 or 4.
Wow.
I mean, I know people say they were playing games at like 3, but I was literally, I grew up with my cousins who were a lot older than me. They already had all the systems. We had the Sega, Genesis, and Nintendo in our house. So I was playing the first game I ever really played was the Mario Brothers, not the Super Mario one, the Mario one, where you're like 2 pipes on either side, and you have to like jump up on and you have the POW button in the middle, like the original Mario Bros. But
wait. Is this in the arcade or is this on the computer?
The regular Nintendo.
Okay, all right, okay, cool.
Oh,
So
gosh,
what
I
was
remember that one.
what do you think? What would you say your favorite game was back in the day? What were you like? What was your thing?
I mean, the thing that just blew my mind again was adventure. Again, that on the 2600, that was incredible because in comparison to anything out there, you know, this was light years ahead of it, and I think that creator, you know, Warren Robinette, I think he had 256 megabytes of memory to work with, I believe. And what he was able to accomplish, you know, with limited resources then was incredible. 3 dragons, all with their different personalities, and of course, you know, that may have been the first Easter egg ever, where, you know, you would navigate through this invisible chamber, and by using a secret bridge, cross over into a wall, through a wall, pick up this secret invisible dot, carry this invisible dot all the way to another area where you can cross into another, where you could pass through a banner, through this barrier, and then you could see the creator's name in flashing lights, created by Warren Robinette.
Is that what you have to find the keys and stuff like that?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, there was a golden castle, a white castle, and a black castle, and they all had their different keys, and you had to find them. And then there was a bat. There was a freaking bat who was an a-hole because he would just take your stuff when you needed it most, and it was just amazing. And I remember actually being the game Adventure for Halloween one year, and I actually located Warren Robinette's email address, and I sent him a photo of it, and he responded back, and he's like, "Hey, that's a cool photo. Thanks for sharing that." I'm
awesome.
Like, "Yeah, Warren Robinette just praised me." So So that was a big thrill in nerddom, I'd have to say.
How I feel getting you on the podcast.
So that was old. That was very old school. And like I said, I haven't played the more recent games because I'm just now in the adulting world where it's like I've got 2 kids that I gotta deal with, and during a pandemic it's a little bit rough. But I will say that the more modern games, at least, Psychonauts and Portal were just things that just blew me away. And I know that there's do you guys know, did the sequel to Psychonauts come out yet?
I'm not sure. I've yet to play that. It's in my backlog. I really have to play it.
I believe it's still in development.
Okay, still in development. Tim Schafer is amazing, makes amazing games, although he does seem to go past his deadlines, not infrequently, But yeah, Psychonauts just blew me away with its writing, its platforming, and its just amazing worlds and stuff like that. So those are the sort of games where it's just like I would play Psychonauts and Portal. I would play, and then you would find yourself sprinting to the restroom to go pee as fast as you can, and then so you can just get back to the game as fast as you can, and then eventually like hunger takes over, and so you just run to the refrigerator and grab whatever you can, just bread, anything to throw together, a sandwich, and then just run back so you can keep on playing. I mean, I would not trade my family life for the world, but I will say being single and playing video games is a really good time.
I had a friend that he was obsessive when Resident Evil 4 first came out, and I went over to his apartment, and I'm pretty sure that he did not get up from the couch for at least 36 hours. He kind of like fused with it because he just did not leave the couch. Just playing that game.
Absolutely.
I get getting into a game like that. I'd have to get up and move around. Of course, he was just going to college at the time, so he didn't have to worry about work or anything like that. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to take a day off and play a game. That's fine.
Oh, I miss those days. But yes, and then you like just play until you finally have to sleep, and you just sleep out in front of the TV set, and then wake up and then just start up again.
Yeah.
Oh man, I miss those times. Are you guys in a position where you can still play them obsessively, or are you so disciplined that you can ration it out and stuff like that? How do you guys manage to game and live a life at the same time?
I deliver hot tubs, but my partner drives, so I'm able to play my Switch and my Vita, and I have all my Final Fantasies on my Vita. I have most of my Dragon Quest and my Pokemon on my Switch and my DS.
Okay.
So I'm able to game while we're going. Like sometimes I'm in Connecticut, so we'll either go to New York, we'll go to Pennsylvania, we'll go to New Jersey. So while he's driving, I'm able to game. But so that's how I do it.
That's awesome. And your partner's cool with that? Like he doesn't.
He's like a kind of a family friend, so he don't mind at all.
Okay, that's awesome.
But next week I'm off the whole week, so I have I don't know if you wanted to announce it yet, but I have a game I just picked up. Speaking of delays, that I'll be playing all next week.
Oh yes, and what game would that be?
It's a game that's gotten delayed so many times. I've been waiting for it. I don't know if these my fans out there have played The Witcher 3 or heard of the game called Cyberpunk 2077.
Maybe.
Yes.
Sounds familiar.
Oh, it's a fantastic game.
I have not picked it up yet.
Go ahead. No, please. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. I just wonder if anybody here has any inside scoop or knows anything about that game.
I as luck would happen to have it, I did do some voice work on Cyberpunk 2077, and this is the first time that I'm mentioning it in public. So yes, I'm very excited to say that I'm part of Cyberpunk 2077.
Very cool.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I'm so excited. I've been looking for your character, but since it just came out, there's not really much they have out on it.
Right. And in fact, actually, I've been looking for my character too. So yes, I can't, because I can't quite remember my character's name. Like, I was like trying to burn through my brain, trying to remember what exactly it is. I voice a few different characters, but the major character that I voice is basically kind of a meditation guru. So there was a lot of breathe. And then there was a lot of poetic discussions about imagine the sky and the clouds. You're walking through a forest and you rest. Feel relaxed. So that's what I remember of it. But but yes, they haven't listed me on IMDb yet, so I can't see what the character is, and yes, so I'm eager to see it. I'm eager to hear myself, but the voice director Pierce O'Toole, who's just a fantastic voice director, he said that my sessions were like the most relaxing sessions of all of the game.
Just do meditation videos from now on.
But go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say you could do like meditation videos or tapes or something for just like, kind of like Bob Ross type stuff.
Oh, yeah, that would be fun. I would enjoy that. I think I would really like to do that. And it's funny because the kind of voiceover work that I frequently wind up getting is like soldier, law enforcement, watch the six, click over the, 2 clicks to the east and stuff like that. A lot of yelling stuff, or and getting really loud and stuff like that. But I have to say, like, there's part of me that really just wants to narrate children's books. So.
Oh, you got a great voice for that.
Yeah, you got.
I would love to do that. So we'll see. I think what I'd like to do is just start reading books, online, children's books online on YouTube. I have no interest in narrating adult books, but just having 2 young children myself, I've just come to appreciate these children's books so much. And yeah, what an amazing world that these writers create in just a few words and stuff like that. So it's been a real treat rereading my childhood books with my son and daughter and discovering these new ones and stuff. So yes, it's funny. I'm very blessed to voice video games and animated series and stuff like that. Yes, I would love to voice children's books, and fortunately that's something that I can do on my own just for the fun of it. So hopefully I will have the time to start doing a little bit of that.
How old are your kiddos, if you don't mind me asking?
Sure. They're 6 years old and almost 2 years old.
Oh, so, fun ages.
So just enough to be a huge handful during a pandemic, So we're doing everything we can to give them a normal life during this time. It's definitely tough. And we've definitely made sacrifices, but I have to say, literally this afternoon, I gave my son a hug and I told him, I said, I can't wait for life to be normal again for you. And he said things are already things are already pretty normal for me. And I almost cried just hearing that, because that's all we want is something normal for him, and for him to just say, yeah, things feel pretty normal, despite the fact that he goes to school over a computer, despite the fact that he hasn't seen a single one of his friends since March, like all that stuff kills me. But for him to say things feel pretty normal already, oh my gosh. I almost started crying then and there.
Brought tears to my eyes.
I understand that completely.
Thank you. And here's where I try to mention this on every podcast that I go on. Things are just really tough for people, and I'm tremendously blessed and I'm tremendously privileged, but it's just so many people out there who are just struggling, worried about putting food on the table, having diapers for their kids and stuff like that. So If your listeners, if they are in a position, please consider donating to a diaper bank or a food bank, anything like that, just to help, because boy, things are rough for a lot of people right now. So thank you for letting me sort of state my platform there.
Not a problem.
I will be definitely I have a big check this week coming up, so after I take care of my bills, I'll definitely be if you have a certain one I can donate to, I'll definitely throw some money at it.
Anyone you like is completely fine, whether it's a local food bank. I give multiple donations to I've given multiple donations to the National Diaper Network, just because it's a national diaper network. And I think about that awful feeling that I had when I didn't know, back when you couldn't buy toilet paper and diapers and formula and stuff like that, and fortunately we were okay, but like how desperate I felt, worried that I wasn't going to be able to provide nourishment or diapers for my kids. So yeah, I would say anything, any of those would be wonderful. Thank you. And what I do is anytime I go on a podcast, I donate more to food banks and diaper networks. So thank you very much for donating as well.
No problem at all. I was gonna say thank you for coming on.
So just out of curiosity, with your kiddos and you guys being at home, have you guys been doing like board games and stuff?
That's a good question. We haven't done too many board games. He's a big fan of Chutes and Ladders, so
Okay.
we do some of that. A little bit of Pictionary, a little bit of Uno. But we haven't done too many of that. But you're right. We should do more of that, especially Pictionary, because Pictionary is freaking awesome. So, and then what's kind of interesting is my wife, like everybody else in the world, has gotten really into chess due to the Queen's Gambit, and I've managed to watch a little bit of that, and it's just awesome. And so because my wife has started playing a little bit of chess, now my son wants to learn how to play chess. So yeah, maybe this is a good opportunity to teach him some chess, and we'll see where he goes with that.
Yeah, I taught my kids how to play chess, and my daughter kind of cheats when she plays against her brother. She can't get away with that with me, but it's like, you shouldn't be doing that to your brother. That's not nice.
But just by like moving the pieces illegally, or just kind of like nudging them to where you want them to be? How does she cheat exactly?
A little bit of that. She also is like, oh, you took your hand off the piece. You can't make your move now. That kind of stuff.
Okay. Yes. I see. How old are your children?
My daughter is 11 and my son is 8. And so,
Okay,
I mean, he's at least getting a better grasp of the rules. He's like, no, you can't do that. That's not fair. So, but yeah, board games have been a big thing for during like the pandemic and everything, and I think that's another great thing that families can do, and I encourage people to do that if they can.
Oh, that's cool. What games are you guys playing?
The ones that we've been doing lately is King of Tokyo, where you control different monsters, and you're trying to take over Tokyo, but the monsters that are outside the city can attack you. So there's a little bit of a strategy game to that. And then,
oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
If you want a really fun one to play with your youngster, you should check out Fireball Island. It's you're like explorers and you're moving around this like three-dimensional island. You're trying to get like snapshots of different locales and everything. Occasionally you'll trigger the volcano and you just drop marbles through the top of the volcano, and it can roll around the paths, knock your guys over, or you can move trees to change the path of the marbles.
That's awesome. Okay, so King of Tokyo and sorry, what was that? What was that? Marbles of
Fireball Island.
Fireball Island, King of Tokyo and Fireball Island. I am going to have to check those out. Thank you.
Oh, very fun games to play with the youngsters.
So we talked a bit, and I heard you're one heck of a singer.
That is a phrase that I apply to myself very often. But I happen to have recorded my first singing voiceover job just like last week, basically, and
very cool.
I was terrified, I gotta say. So yeah, in a 2-decade-long acting career, I had never done a singing job ever, and people would say to me, you've got a really nice voice, do you sing? And I'd be like, well, I don't know, I sort of sing. I sing in the shower. I don't pretend that I'm amazing or anything like that. But the producer of Seis Manos, which is one of my favorite projects ever, Seis Manos as in 6 hands in Spanish. It's a Netflix animated series. It's a Netflix martial arts themed supernatural zombie Mexican based animated series. So Mexicanime, if you will.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Oh, it's wonderful. It was such a blast to record, and so I play the good martial arts mentor to 3 orphans, and I also play his other, who's not quite as kind as him. So one of the producers of that project came to me and said, hey, we need a really deep bass voice for this singing project that we have. Would you like to do it? I'd be like, I'd love to do it. And then I was terrified. And so they gave me the music, and it's confidential right now, so I can't go into the specifics, but basically it was, I knew they wanted it low, and so, the low notes were right at the very bottom of my register, and I was just like, can I do that? Can I do that? And I was terrified because I've never done a singing job before, and also because I didn't audition for it. And so one of the things is, if you've auditioned for a project, at least you're in the ballpark of what they want, because what you submitted is, what they cast you for. But in this case, it was just, based on his confidence in me and the quality of my voice. And so I was just like, can I do this? And so then I got in touch with a composer friend of mine, and we went over, and I was like, tell me, you have to tell me the truth. Can I reach these low notes? Because if I can't, then I have to just, gracefully bow out and say, I cannot reach these low. Actually totally hitting these low notes, Vic. And he goes, honestly, I'm kind of amazed that you can sing that low. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. So that gave me a lot of confidence to know that he was telling me that I can reach these notes. And then when it came time for the actual recording session, they're like, okay, so let's hear what you got. And I'm like, doing those low things. And then they're like, we actually thought you were going to sing that 1 octave higher than what you were singing in. And he's like, don't get me wrong, what you're singing, you singing in that low register is really cool. It's just that those aren't notes that we typically ask a human being to sing. So all this stress that I was doing was for nothing, because it turns out they actually just wanted me to sing in just the regular register, not this super low, Barry White type of bass. And we wound up singing it in both versions just in case, and lo and behold, see, low. They went with the low register one. So hey, that was kind of cool, and just a fun experience, a really fun experience for me. Discover, hey, I guess I can sort of sing a little bit, So yeah, we'll see what happens. And in fact, just the following week, the composer actually got in touch with me and said, hey, do you mind singing on this song that I just composed, because I need some low notes that I know you can reach. And I'm like, cool, apparently this is my niche here. If you need really low notes sung, you come call me. So
that's fantastic. Christmas album next year, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then and also it brings to mind something that I have a mentor named Karen Huey, who's an amazing voice actress, and she's she plays a fantastic role on Ghost of Tsushima. I was on that as well, but we didn't work together on it. But she's amazing on Ghost of Tsushima, as well as a host of other voice jobs. And she's said before, she's like, don't disqualify yourself. Let other people disqualify you. You just go and do your best. And that's just something that I need to remember. Why disqualify myself? There's plenty of other people who will disqualify me. So there's no need for me to do it for them. So something for me to try and remember in the future as well.
Yeah, I just have an announcement real quick. Ghost of Tsushima got robbed at the Game Awards.
Oh,
I want to let everybody know that.
Oh,
Definitely should have won Game of the Year.
Oh,
one of the
man.
greatest games I've ever played.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear, and I'm glad you were so you're so enthusiastic about it. It's a bummer that's a bummer that they did not win.
Yeah, it's just I don't get the Game Awards. I think they're just very biased on and how they do it.
the gamers enjoyed it, and that's what matters.
Exactly.
So, in regards to your role in the Final Fantasy VII Remake, is there anything you did to prepare for the role of Tseng, or just did you just kind of go into it and played around with the role as you went?
The funny thing is, I learned it was that I was working on Final Fantasy about 30 seconds before I walked into the recording booth. So as I'm sure you guys know, everything's really hush-hush and secret in when recording video games. So you sign an NDA, and they typically just refer to it as a code name and stuff like that. So I was just like, oh, okay, cool. I'm working on this project, and we'll see what happens. And then I show up for my first session, and they're like, so this is Final Fantasy. And my jaw just dropped, and I was like, whoa, I did not know that. So yes, there was not much for me to prepare, because I just didn't know what the project was and stuff. And so then that's when they started sharing more details with me and about the backstory of Tseng and is particularly his relationship with Aerith and how about his personality. And I remember having trouble with the character first, because first we were doing Shinra related stuff where it comes across very cold, may not be the right way to put it, but basically all business. This is he's not an angry person, but he basically just knows there is a job that needs to be done. This is what needs to be done. We're going to do it. And so I kind of got that feel. Then there's these scenes with Aerith as well, where he's clearly has an affection and feelings for her. And I was having trouble balancing both of those, and I was just like, finally I just asked, I was like, is he a good guy or is he a bad guy? Because if he's a good guy, I can try to make him, just try to give him, a goodness, a nobleness to his voice. And if he's a bad guy, I might make him a little more gruff or something like that. And I was like, is he a good guy or is he a bad guy or is he ambiguous? And they're like he's ambiguous, and then that helped clear everything up, because once. Go ahead. Were you going to say something?
Oh, I was just agreeing with you that helped clear things up, because I was going to say he feels ambiguous. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was specifically what they were going for.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I was having trouble. It's easier if you just were like, oh, this guy's a bad guy or whatever. But yeah, that freed me up and helped me understand him a lot more, and made me realize, oh, okay, so he is a lot more human. Because we all have these sides. We have sides of us that are, evil people. We have sides of us that are very, very caring, you know, and they just come out in different circumstances. So once I grasped that this guy is ambiguous, and you know, under certain circumstances, you know, he can be cold and you know, matter of fact and to the point in all business, and under other circumstances can be genuinely caring and really, you know, have feelings for special feelings for somebody. Then I was like, okay, yeah, all right, this guy makes sense now. So that was a challenge and a really fun experience about voicing Tseng.
Very cool. I'm really curious now. Can you tell us what the code name was that they gave you?
I wish I could, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to. So
bummer.
sorry. I wonder about that myself, but I do not know if I can share the code name. So I apologize.
No worries. Nothing to apologize for.
And by the way, yeah, and it's very interesting because they pronounce his name Song in the game. It certainly looks like it's spelled Tseng, and then. It's kind of interesting was somebody had sent me a message in Chinese about his character, and I realized that his name in Chinese, Tseng, is actually my middle name in Chinese. So it's Tseng.
Oh wow.
So it's kind of cool that we actually share the same name.
Yeah, that's gonna be the next thing I was gonna ask you. Which character do you feel you've connected with, that you've either played or voiced? Who do you feel like you've connected with and were like very easily able to portray?
No, I would say Kenshi Takahashi in Mortal Kombat 10 is pretty easy for me to connect to because they just wanted my natural voice. And that's hard for voice actors sometimes to use our natural voice because, you know, let's face it, everybody became an actor because we felt like if we were just a little bit more than what we naturally were, people would like us more. You know, that's why we became actors, because we wanted to be more. We wanted to be more funny or more beautiful or more tough or something like that, you know? So with Kenshi, you know, I was like, okay, well, you know what about this? And they're like, no, just your regular voice. And so once I got over it being difficult, once I accepted that I could just be myself, it's like, oh, hey, this is easy, you know. So I'd just be like, Goro, Prince Goro, you know, and so it was fun to actually get to use my regular voice and just feel like I could just say the lines just as Vic Chao. So I do feel like Kenshi is probably closest in personality to Vic Chao, except that I can actually see, and I don't actually go and cut people's heads off all the time and slice them up into, you know, slice them up like a loaf of bread and stuff.
But that implies you do have telekinesis.
Exactly. Yes, I do, and that comes very handy when I can't control. I just levitated out of the sofa and stuff.
He does have my favorite fatalities. Any Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah,
the puppet one. Oh, I love it. It's very gory, but I love it.
Oh, where basically the tendons and limbs get pulled out, and then like they get manipulated like a puppet. Is that what you're referring to?
Helicopter.
Yeah, that one's pretty amazing.
Spine for the puppet.
What was that?
He used their spine. He like.
Oh yeah, the spine. Okay, that's what it was. Thank you. Yes.
So good.
That one's amazing. The Goro one where he shoves their head straight down into their rib cage, and then opens up the rib cage just to show off the head that's been shoved in there. That one's also a favorite of mine.
I have to say, I was bummed that Kenshi and Goro didn't make it into 11.
I was so mad. I was tweeting at him. I was trying to get them to make him a DLC character because Goro is my ultimate favorite Mortal Kombat character.
I was sad myself, but no matter what, it's like I always wish the Mortal Kombat franchise the absolute best. I want it to continue on, and yeah, no matter what, it's an absolute honor to be part of 10, and hopefully there will be many, many, many iterations to come with lots and lots of Kenshi and Oro and Sector and Triborg and all of that, because I had a blast voicing all of those characters.
Oh, you did Triborg also? Wow, I didn't know.
Yes, Sector and Triborg. So, and that was a lot of like electronic wizardry. So I am not able to speak in that robot voice naturally, but that was a lot of fun.
Okay.
Our fight efforts for Mortal Kombat, I gotta say, are brutal, man. They work you hard when you do your fight efforts, as I'm sure you can imagine, because of course Mortal Kombat's a pretty brutal game.
I know, I found that out when I was 3 years old.
You still remember the exact fatality that was practiced on you?
Scorpion, when he takes off his mask and he shoots you with the he turns you into a skeleton when he hits you with the flame.
Oh, nice.
Classic.
I'm glad that has been burned into your consciousness forever.
I'll never forget it. I remember I ran to my aunt, I hugged her, and I just started bawling my eyes up. I told you shouldn't have got this. He's too young. Oh.
It's funny. I started showing my son a little bit of Seis Manos, and there's a lot of gore in Seis Manos. I mean, yeah, there's some, because like there's zombie action and the tears of your dead mother to turn people into zombies and anyway, it's pretty brutal. And so I'm like, what can I show my son? And like the mildest scene that I could show him was a scene where one of the characters sticks his hand in a beehive and gets stung by a bunch of bees. My son's like, I don't want to watch this anymore. So yeah, and that was the mildest scene. So yeah, it'll be a while before he's ready for Seis Manos. But if your viewers are into some gore and stuff like that, please check it out.
How do you spell that?
Seis Manos. So Seis, SEIS, and then Manos, MANOS. That's 6 hands in Spanish.
What's it on? Do you know? Is it streaming?
Netflix.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
It's on Netflix. And basically it's about 3 orphaned martial artists, three orphans that in Mexico that get raised by a Chinese martial artist. And then they go out and they experience adventures. I was gonna say fight crime, and it's like, well, that's not exactly how I'd put it. But it's really great, and Danny Trejo plays the lead bad guy, and he's just fantastic because it's like when you meet him in person, he's just a kind guy. And this guy who plays all these badasses, both on film as well as in voice, and he's just a soft-spoken, kind guy when you meet him in person, and so it's just a pleasure to get to meet him and work with him, and also see what people can be like when they're given a second chance, because you may know this. Danny Trejo, he was in prison growing up, for problems that he had growing up, and then he became an actor. He became he was like the boxing champion in prison, and then at some point, on a movie set, I can't remember which one it was, they needed a boxing consultant. And so somebody who had known him from prison said, oh, let's call it my friend Danny. So he became the boxing consultant. And that was his entry into Hollywood. And so yeah, like, you know, you think about this guy who was given a second chance and what he's made of his life since then. And it's like, man, that's cool stuff. I want to be Danny Trejo when I grow up.
He seems like a guy that would be fun to just sit there and chat with and have a beer with.
He's yeah, that's exactly, you know, you feel comfortable with him, even though he's a big star. You don't feel like he's, you know, too good to speak with you or anything like that. He's just a very human, genuine kind guy.
Okay.
And he rescued a baby from like an overturned truck, and it's just like, wow, this guy does everything. I think it was a year ago or something like that. There was a car accident in the San Fernando Valley, and like I think an SUV got turned over, and he like crawled under it with another person and freed up the baby from their car seat and stuff. I just like, man, Danny Trejo's cool.
And imagine the story you tell later on. Yeah, machete saved my kiddo.
Exactly.
I know a lot about second chances. I have a hard time. I talked to Dee about this earlier. I was an addict for years, and I finally ended up getting clean, and I just I credit all to gaming and my fiance, and I just put all my time into working this podcast now. And yeah, just not a topic I really like to discuss, but I do like to be honest with people and be honest with my fans. So I do, like to let people know.
It's amazing. Thank you very much for sharing that and totally vulnerable about that. Thank you very much for sharing that.
It's a struggle. I mean, I know some people, I feel like you won't judge me and Dee won't judge me. And I know a lot of people are judgmental about it, but you know, it was hard. It was hard. I never thought I'd be this happy and living a life as a productive member of society, and it's just opened doors for me. I'm able to meet spectacular people like Dee. I'm able to have you on my podcast. It's just opened so many doors for me, and I never thought I'd be able to experience like a life like this and be able to do what I'm doing.
It's fantastic. Really, I'm really happy for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
The joke is why do men do podcasts instead of therapy? And the answer is, this is pretty much like therapy.
Totally.
There's a reason
I can totally see that.
Oh yeah, sit behind a microphone, just chit chat with some friends. It's good times.
I didn't mean to bring the mood down.
Oh no. How did you guys how did you guys decide to start this podcast anyway?
Him in a podcast promotion. We're only 3 months old, and we're almost at 700 downloads.
That's great.
But we're rising every day. But I'm a huge gamer, and like I said, I had my problem, and I was streaming for a little bit, but I really wasn't big into the streaming. You know, I wanted to be able to come and be able to talk. I wanted to be able to come and meet people that had the same passion as I had, and be able to meet people like yourself. You know. And being able to ask the questions and learn more and get an insight on the industry and stuff like that.
Very cool.
And I decided, you know, I like it. It's something that I enjoy to do, and it keeps me busy. It keeps me sober. You know, it's just it's a good vice. I love it. Help save my life.
Oh, that's wonderful, man. That's fantastic.
Yeah, my buddy ran for mayor in our local burg of Sparks, Nevada, back in 2018, and didn't make it past the primaries. And he decided, you know, I still want to help people, so let's figure out something to do. And so we started up a podcast that's still going strong. And then probably about half a year into that, he's like, you know, let's branch out. You know, I've got a side project that I would like to do. You should come up with something on your own. And I gave it some thought, and I talked to a couple of friends that I work with, and we started doing one on like board games, card games, video games, stuff like that. And so that's how me and Nick met, is through one of those podcast things on Facebook, and just hooked up, and the rest is history.
Well, that's great.
He's a great guy.
Well, thank you.
A lot of my friends turned their back on me and just left me in the dust after, So.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that, man.
It's their fault. I've learned not to hate. I've learned to forgive, and it's life. We only live once. If they decided that they stick by me at my worst time, then when I'm all healed up and doing my thing that they don't deserve, I don't hold any hate in my heart. I just I wish them the best. I want them to succeed in life, and I just want happiness for everybody. It's just how and it's
for you.
It's brought people like Dennis into my life. I have a bunch of other really good friends I've come in contact with. Like I said, it's opened doors for me, and I never thought I'd be open for me. People say that when you're doing good and you're doing the right thing, doors. I never really believed that. I would like one ear out the other. It's true. It's absolutely true. I always wanted to be an actor. That's my thing, but I just never really tried. So this is I like doing the podcast. I found the podcasting and I love it.
As long as you love it, that's all that matters.
Exactly. So Vic, if you could pick any role, like video games, movies, anything to voice act, what would it be? If you had your pick, like they're redoing something and you could be the main character.
Oh man, anything at all. I gotta go back to two of my favorite video games, which would be Psychonauts or Portal. To get to be the GLaDOS character in Portal, or the I love it when I just completely blank out on Portal 2. That guy, he played J. Jonah Jameson.
J.K. Simmons.
Spider-Man. Yeah, I'm sorry, what was it?
J.K. Simmons.
Yes, thank you. Like J.K. Simmons, the owner of the plant. When they say life gives you lemons, make lemonade. No, I say I don't remember what it was. Anyway, like that guy had the most hilarious lines as well as the most hilarious delivery. But yeah, so Psychonauts, like they just had such unique, awesome, hilarious characters with incredible writing, and they all just had such a distinct voice. But I will say, okay, if the genie comes out and says, no, you got to pick one, dummy. You can't just say, oh, I love them all. I would say GLaDOS in Portal 1 and 2 because the passive aggressiveness that comes out with Portal with her voice and her lines was just awesome, just so freaking hilarious. And so yes, I if I could be GLaDOS, I would die a happy man.
That would be so cool.
Spin to have a male GLaDOS, that'd be awesome. And you'd probably be a hell of a GLaDOS. I can only imagine.
What's that line she has? Something like, "How are you doing? Because I'm a potato." It's just like so great.
Oh yeah, some of those lines were just like word salad, but they worked so perfully within the scope of the game.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh man, I miss those days of being able to be obsessive and just play video games constantly. That was just some good times.
Yeah, I remember the first time I played Final Fantasy VII. Forget it. I used to have to go to I used to have to go and spend the night over at a friend's house because my uncle would have card night and they'd go away. But luckily, when their friends would come to our house, I'd get to stay home. And I just got Final Fantasy. It was a Friday night. I put it in, and I just the music just took me away. I remember going to the reactor the first time, and it just took my breath away, and I just been crazy about the series ever since.
That's awesome. So was that the first Final Fantasy that you had played, or had you played the others prior?
First Final Fantasy I played was Mystic Quest, but I didn't know it was as a Final Fantasy. I only knew it as Mystic Quest.
Okay.
And, then I played 7, I played 8 and 9. And then I went back and I played the first 2 on Game Boy. And after that, I love Sirius. The music and everything about it is just amazing. I just want to thank you again for bringing life in this Tseng song.
Oh no, I'm very happy to be here, and it's such an honor to be on that project. And I gotta say, man, Final Fantasy fans are freaking awesome. Wow,
Yes.
I did not even mean to make such an alliterative sentence, but here we can even do it. We can do it better. Final Fantasy fans are fantastic. But it's totally true. They've been so enthusiastic. They've been so supportive and just sending me messages of how they enjoy my work. And like, like I love the fan art that they've drawn and stuff like that, and like, yeah, like I love their passion, and it's so cool to be part of this community that is so genuine and enthusiastic. I love it.
I took a shot because I forget how we started. I think I tweeted you out. I think is how we began to talk.
I think you're right. Yes, I think you're right.
Did you well, and I took a shot because I didn't think, because a lot of people that you write, you don't think that they're gonna ever write you back, So I kind of took a shot. I tweeted you, and you wrote back. I remember I was talking to my fiance. I was like jumping for joy. I was like, I think I screenshotted it and I was tweeting it all over Facebook and everything. I was like, oh my god! I was announcing you were gonna be on the podcast. I was just losing it. And, I was so excited. I wanted to thank you 1,000 times over.
Oh no, it's all good.
You're fantastic.
Oh no! Again, wait till I become a huge star. Then I'm gonna be a big snob. No, no, it's an honor and a pleasure. I just wish that I had more time. Obviously, with this pandemic, things have been pretty crazy and stuff. So it's like that's why sometimes especially you'd message me and be like, oh yeah, I gotta get it back to you and stuff like that.
I understood.
I totally appreciate your patience, but yeah, like basically I kind of watched the kids pretty much most of the day, unless I happen to be booked, in which case my wife and I somehow miraculously seem to work it out. And then like I record, any auditions that I have, I record when the kids are sleeping. And so that's sometimes it's at 10 o'clock, but sometimes I'm just so freaking exhausted that I got to set the alarm or I snooze it till like 2 or 3 in the morning. And then I'm just recording auditions, at 3 in the morning and stuff like that. It's a little bit tiring. So yes, thank you for your patience when I'm slow to get back to you.
No need to thank me at all. I appreciate you, and you're a big star to all of us Final Fantasy fans already.
Thank you. That feels good.
Yes, you're fantastic, and it was just so great to have you on the podcast. Did you have anything else, Dennis, that you wanted to ask?
No, I pretty much covers it. It was an honor to be able to talk with you and everything. This has been very insightful.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much.
Honor. Hopefully, in the future, again, we can hint when if you're on the hint second Final Fantasy VII remake, we'll get to have you on again. Fantastic.
Would love to. Hopefully that will happen. Yes. So thank you. No, it was great talking to you. And there was going to be one more thing. But I don't even remember. But yeah, no, it's been great speaking with you guys. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Did you want to plug your plug your thing again?
My thing? What was that?
The donation.
Oh, yes. So yes, I should mention these things. Thank you very much. Yeah, you can see what a great self-promoter I am. I'm so terrible at talking about myself. But yes, obviously I'm Tseng in Final Fantasy VII Remake. If you'd like to hear more of me, I'm also in Ghost of Tsushima as Gon the healer and the bear character. I can't remember the bear's name, but I was just like, yeah, I get to voice a bear. And then I was like, "You want me to be a real bear?" Like, and they're like, "No, just use regular voice." I'm like, "Oh, I want to be a bear."
Take away all the fun.
And go ahead. I'm sorry. What you were saying?
I was gonna say that takes away all the fun. You can't have fun with the part.
Again, like I think voice actors, we just feel like we need to be more than just our regular voice. But yes, and I'm also on Cyberpunk 2077 as a few roles, but the meditation coach, whose name I will find out eventually. So hopefully you will feel very relaxed when you hear my voice. And I've got an upcoming role in Cartoon Network's Ben 10, which is a really cool role that I'm not allowed to say what it is, but it's going to be super cool. And I'm so totally excited about that. And yeah, and hopefully you will hear me singing at some point in time. So once that comes out, I'll let you know what the actual thing is.
Please, so I can let the fans know.
And yes, please, I do really love more followers. So please, if you get a chance, follow me on Twitter. That's Vic Chao, VICCHAO. On Instagram, it's Vic Chao 1, so the number 1, so VICCHAO 1, just the number 1 there. And then book, it's Chao Actor, or is it Actor Vic Chao? Okay, anyway, clearly I need to be on those more, but I have trouble talking about myself. It feels, I'm not saying it is braggy, when people talk about themselves. I mean, they're actually just informing people about what they're doing, and I think it's wonderful. I think I was just sort of raised with a mentality of, you don't talk about yourself. So it's tough for me. So please, the more followers that I have and the more people encourage me to actually talk about stuff that's going on, the more I feel encouraged to do it, and I feel like it's actually just connecting with people instead of bragging or something like that. So it does mean a lot to me. If you guys can follow me, would love to follow and interact.
Followed you on Insta. Just followed you on the Instagram.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you so much for coming on. It was such a pleasure.
Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. A blast.
Thank you so much. Have a great holiday, and hopefully we talk to you and can have you on the podcast again soon.
Sounds good. All right. Take it easy, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Joker Bros and Moogles. That's the episode for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any comments or questions, please